North Carolina State Highway Patrol.
What cigarette do you smoke, Doctor?
A contributing factor to our juvenile delinquency of today.
Rock and roll has got to go.
And welcome back to the Hometown Holler. I'm Daniel Ayers.
And I'm Quinn Ray.
Well, hey, man.
I'm really happy today
And why is that, Daniel?
because Joe Exotic just dropped a new song.
Isn't he in jail?
Yeah, and that's what makes it all the more miraculous, is that even in the pen, Joe Exotic is still gracing us with his musical talents.
Man, I remember when, that's Tiger King saved COVID for me.
Oh, dude.
Like, just binge watched it, loved
Changed
it.
my life.
Man, Carol Baskin is a bitch.
Every time I saw that show, I learned some. I've seen it start to finish 4 times now, and every time I pick up on, it's like, you know, I think it's like it's like the thing that some people get from reading the Bible. It's like you get something out of it each time. That was Tiger King for me, right? Every time I gleaned something,
You get something new.
because you focus on a different character. There's so many characters in that saga, and every time, like the most recently, his campaign manager. That guy went through so much. Remember, he like runs for governor,
And he throws out condoms in the parade.
And his campaign manager was like a dude who like worked at Lowe's or Walmart or something, but was like authentically into like libertarian politics, and just gets way more than he bargains for out of running Joe Exotic's gubernatorial race. Anyway,
good.
So Joe Exotic's got a new song out, folks. It's on Spotify. I'm sure it's on Apple Music, wherever you get your music, and go check it out. He's just he is, man. He's like Outkast. It's just like one banger after another. You can't stop him.
I like this guilty
So that's
pleasure.
why I'm happy, man.
Your
That's why
guilty
I'm happy.
pleasure is Joe Exotic. I love Alanis Morissette.
If you got my car right now and turned it on, that's what it would be. I saw a tiger. Now I understand. I saw a tiger, and a tiger saw a man.
Oh, dang.
Anyway,
I like it.
but we're here with Kate Barr, so let's pivot. We've got
Yes, this
a
is
lot
an
to talk
exciting
about.
one.
Yeah, so this is really exciting. You know, you when we were planning season 2, you were like, we should get Kate on. I said, yeah, we should bring her back. And you were like, we didn't have her on last season.
Yeah.
I thought for sure we had Kate Barr on season 1 Hometown Holler.
I mean, she was everywhere but the holler.
Everywhere. She was everywhere. She was all across the state, even though you were running for a state Senate office, which is like a county, you know, I mean, your constituency is like across a couple counties maybe, but like you were across North Carolina. You were across, honestly, the world. You were like on, was it ABC Australia? So yeah, I was for sure, I was like, obviously, certainly we had Kate Barr. We did not. But for those of you who haven't had the pleasure yet of meeting Kate Barr, she is our favorite. I would say North Carolina's favorite loser, right?
And she brings chocolate martinis.
And she can make a mean chocolate martini. Cheers, Quinn.
Mm-hmm. Cheers. And Kate,
Cheers.
there we go. We'll reach over there. Oh, there we go.
All right.
It's made by fascist tears.
That's right. Yeah, that's the secret ingredient is the fascist tears. We'll have a selfie of that on social media later, I'm sure. So for those of you who don't know Kate, she's our favorite, greatest loser. She did something that I think is truly admirable and is like seriously, Kate, I think it is the perfect distillation of what it means to be a citizen in a democracy, which is to show up and give people a choice, right? A democracy is all about giving people choice. If you don't have choice, you don't have a democracy. And you live in Iredell County, is that right? Or
I
you're
actually
right on
technically live in North Mecklenburg County,
right on
and
the
we
line.
got gerrymandered into Iredell County.
Right. And so in your state Senate district, there was a very cozy incumbent who needed to feel a little uncozy. And you threw your name in the ring knowing that you were not going to win. And that was like your whole campaign was Kate Barr can't win, which is great marketing.
Yeah.
Right? You see the shirts, you see the signs, and it's like, why can't Kate Barr win? And it's brilliant in a couple of ways, but it's gerrymandering is such an abstract issue that I think is so difficult to talk about. You educated so many people and made that abstract issue very concrete and very tangible. And we're really excited to have you on the show. We appreciate you making time out of your busy schedule because now you lost your race. What are you doing now?
First, thank you for having me on. You are my white whale. Fuck MSNBC. It's the Hometown Holler for me.
Call us Moby Dick.
I was going to say, I was going to make a Moby Dick reference, Captain Ahab or something. Anyway, thank you, Kate.
Thank you. And cheers.
Airport rules, right?
Yes. For 4 years minimum. Yeah, so the whole goal was to help people understand how gerrymandering affects their daily lives, because it literally touches us in every possible way, because we're supposed to send people to Raleigh to represent us and to represent our views and what we need and to, be there for the constituents, and they just don't do that because they don't have to.
Yeah.
And now she's here on the holler, and we decided today we were going to just have some fun.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of a festive episode.
You want to do it?
We got some important stuff to talk about.
We do.
But we also have some important activities to facilitate the conversation. What's the first one?
Yeah,
Quinn?
so the first one that I think we should do, Kate, and you're wearing yellow, so it just is only appropriate. I don't know if you follow the kids on TikTok and stuff. They do the lemon shot or lemon juice challenge. Yeah. We're going to do the lemon juice challenge and see if we can hold it in and see if we can pucker up.
Great.
Oh,
yeah, this is going to be a good one.
So excited.
My son, eats lemons.
Yeah.
Like, just cuts it and eats it.
You got your shot glass?
I'm hoping that here, do I slide this to you? I'm hoping that that's in my DNA and that this is going to be fine.
Do you ever, knowing you're about to eat something really sour, your mouth, prepares for it, and you get, this weird, I don't know what it is exactly.
Oh, this is a terrible idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that
all
good.
of this is terrible. I don't want to get it on the mixer, but I think this is how we started up.
Great.
So this also, for you listeners, if you're not on the YouTubes, you definitely should check us out on the YouTubes so you can see everybody's face after doing this. Oh, this is fucking terrible.
I actually really don't want to do this.
This is so terrible. God. All right.
I believe in us.
I do too.
What are we drinking to? Death to our enemies.
Sure.
The
Cheers.
thing I pray for every
This
night.
is terrible. It wasn't.
That's so fine.
Man.
That was anticlimactic.
I'm sorry, TikTok, you're weak.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen the videos? Has everybody
Yes.
else seen the videos?
I'll tell you what, I think it could be really bad. I just went straight back. It didn't even touch my tongue, honestly.
That's what experience gives you.
Yeah.
This is where the old folks have it on
that's
the
true.
TikTokers. I didn't taste that.
No, it was not terrible at all. I'm so disappointed in this.
But you know what? Actually, this actually makes a lot of sense because all the videos I see are people who, now that I'm thinking about it, clearly have never done shots and don't know what they're doing. And so they're swishing that thing around. It's getting all over the taste buds. You can't do that.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, good on them for not doing shots at a super young age. Great. And
I guess.
life.
I'm talking about college students. I watch some college. There's some. I'm just but they also just look lame anyway. So it's checks out.
Well, anyway.
Getting a college, that's like a life skill.
So, Kate, tell us one of your sourest moments, because this clearly wasn't
that.
No, this was not that sour.
Something that was just tough, and you've learned something from it, and moving forward. What was one of your sourest
Is this
moments?
of all time, or is this within the context of the campaign that you did and politics?
Well, I wouldn't consider the campaign really sour. I think
the campaign was a fucking
sour.
blast.
Yeah.
Every minute of that was a good time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell a story that I don't think I've told before.
Oh, see, we are the white whale.
Yes.
Yeah, sweet. Buckle up.
So in 2015, I and a couple of friends founded a company called Pip and Grow, and we made cardboard bassinets to be infant sleep spaces for babies 0 to 6 months old. It was modeled on the Finnish baby box model, if anybody remembers that. And we had super lofty goals. So this thing was manufactured in the US, but specifically in communities where they needed the jobs. And it's recyclable. So the box itself was manufactured in Flint, Michigan, and then the sheet actually came from North Carolina, Kinston, North Carolina, where they would literally harvest the cotton and spin the yarn and make the little mattress sheet on site. It's super cool.
You guys really thought about this.
A lot. And I was in that business for 7 years. We were successful by basically every measure. We won awards. We had solid revenue. We had state and national contracts. Name drop, I was in Forbes for the Next 1000 as their CEO.
Shark Tank? This sounds very Shark Tankable.
We made it to the last round before it was going to,
Before you go to the tank?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We made it through casting and to the producers, and then we were not interested in offering up enough equity. But COVID happened, which sucked. Made it through COVID, and then in June of 2021, the Consumer Product Safety Commission, heavily lobbied by Pack and Play. Pack and Play lobby is not a thing that I thought existed. It also sounds like it shouldn't, but it totally does.
Big Pack and Play.
Pack and Play. Damn it, Graco.
There's a lobby for everything.
There really is. so they were super threatened by this $30 box that could sit on the ground. Just bumped your table and made bad sound.
There you go.
Anyway, the Consumer Product Safety Commission issued a ruling that only sleep spaces that were already approved could be sold in the U.S. And that was the meeting where we were supposed to get approved. And so it sucked. Like, our business basically evaporated overnight, and we lost an opportunity for people to have a choice about where their kid sleeps. And it was honestly the Democrats that did it.
Yeah.
So that was extra bad to me. Yeah, I mean, it really
that
sucks a lot. And I think it's not an uncommon experience for folks to feel like they're on a path to something.
Yep.
And then they run into some government regulation that doesn't always make the most sense.
I mean, how many votes have Democrats lost just from that story, of some version of that story?
Right?
Yeah.
Yep. They
Man.
managed to maintain me, but it's a tough
See,
go.
that's another example of people that say, I don't do politics, but politics will do you.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you're just trying to,
True.
get money, start your own business, and then politics does you in good,
Yep.
which is a little frustrating.
Yep.
But talking about this was a great segue into the Democrat Party. So they bumped you there, right?
Yep.
With the pack and play.
These last 4 weeks have been terrible if you're a Democrat.
Yes.
It's been very heart aching and then also just very infuriating at your team, right? So what are your thoughts on what's happening right now in the state of affairs?
So one of the things I've been talking to my kids about a lot right now is that the only time you can be brave is when you're scared. And there are a lot of people being super brave.
True.
And I don't see very many of them in elected office.
Yeah.
And we just have to change that fundamentally. I also think there are a lot of reasons to be hopeful. But like Hakeem Jeffries, stop with the thoughts and prayers shit, man.
Yes.
Like, what are we doing on this budget? That seems like a perfect opportunity to really stand up.
Yeah, die on that hill.
Yes. All the hills. Die on every hill.
Right.
You're so right. Like virtue isn't virtue until it's tested, and we have such an opportunity right now to define ourselves, to make some really historic statements and take some historic stances. And it does feel like Quinn and I had a whole conversation about this. I haven't really been plugged into national politics, mainly because the strategy they're doing is the whole flood the zone. Like, I'm just not going to subject myself to things that I know are going to overwhelm and stress me out when that will make me less effective at, being a good citizen in the sphere that I can influence, which is my community and my state, right? But Quinn's more resilient than me, so he's been plugging into the national stuff.
I guess.
Right, but what I see on social media from people that I love and respect, many of whom I'm related to, they're just swinging at every pitch, right? There's not this, well, let's take a moment, let's pick our battles, let's figure out where we can actually resist effectively, and let's not just I hate to say it, probably not worth tweeting about the paper straws executive order. No, I don't support it. Don't love it. I think it's a silly thing to do, but it's not, that one's not worth it to me.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean,
Wouldn't swing at that pitch.
So I think everybody has a different pitch they would choose to swing
for sure.
at.
That one's that's mine. That's the one I'm not going to swing at that one.
Mine is the renaming of shit on maps is really dumb, but it doesn't hurt anybody.
Right.
And so, all right, fuck if I care. I'm still going to call it the Gulf of Mexico.
Sure.
You can do whatever you want.
Right. Throw the screwball.
Yeah.
Right.
But an example of even if you don't want to pay attention at the federal level is that politics will do you. So my husband is a VA employee. He's a doctor. And yesterday we got word that he has to return to work, and he works remotely as a radiologist. So he's reading emergency x-rays from the garage apartment at home 6 hours from the hospital where he works. And so effectively he has to resign.
Yeah.
How is that going to help our veterans?
Right. Well, there's an entire national network of radiologists that work remotely in off hours reading emergency studies for the VA hospital system. and none of them can return to, like, where are they going to go? There's not even space in these places. And so we're just going to watch our federal government slowly come apart. And I think that's the thing to keep your eye on personally in national politics, which is there's all this stuff happening. But fundamentally, it's not about reducing inefficiencies or like cutting costs. It's about dismantling democracy.
Right. Stripping the country for parts.
And you know, I've been saying that to people. I think, you know, we're all on social media. You've been saying it. You've been saying it. It feels like for years, especially, I mean, Donald Trump first started running, in 2015. It felt like liberals, Democrats, progressive. It was kind of like Chicken Little, the sky's falling. He's fascist. He's Nazi. But it's happening. Like, we're not making this shit up right now. Like, your husband is going to be out of a job now because of this. So it's not that this is a Chicken Little rant or run or we're in our feelings. It's a real thing.
And veterans are going to die because of this.
Exactly.
Like, it's, you know, our family will be all right. But like, veterans are going to die. Like, we are breaking a fundamental contract we had with people who signed up to sacrifice their lives for our country. And now we are going to let them die because we will not have someone read their x-ray at midnight when they're in a car accident. Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
He just likes his orange makeup. I mean, it's just how it goes.
Well, to what you were saying, Quinn, something that has been a challenge for me, and I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this, Kate, right? Like, 2016, I think, you know, I know people who voted for Trump in 2016, didn't make that mistake a second or third time. I can understand where somebody was coming from in 2016. I did not vote for Donald Trump then. I was like, you know, I was out of it way, way early on. I was never even in it, right? But I talked to people, I'm like, you know what? I get it, right? I never thought that Hillary Clinton was a particularly compelling candidate for a variety of reasons. I also think 2016, it was just the year of the outsider, right? We had Brexit. Scottish nationalism had almost pulled them out of the UK the year before. Bernie Sanders was polling high. Like, it was just a weird year politically. I see how that was plausible to some people. But, like, wow, we're 8 years removed from that. And now, like, I know people who, you know, voted for Trump in this last election, and the thing that I'm realizing now as I talk to them,
they're fucking stupid.
Well, so I've interacted with a couple of them in the past month since the inauguration, and the pattern of behavior I'm seeing is this kind of like, whoa, things are pretty crazy, you know, kind of acknowledgement that, like, things are wacky, but a complete unwillingness to assign, to be honest about why things are fucked up, why things are wacky. And it's this kind of evasiveness where it's like, who could have imagined? Gosh, politics sure is messy. And I'm struggling because I want so badly to be like, you don't get to do that. Like, sit down, right? Like,
we told you it was coming.
You bought this ticket.
Yeah.
And now we're on the roller coaster. And you don't get to close your eyes. We have to talk about this. And I think a certain amount of that also, like, you know, we all love to say, I told you so, right? There's like an ego thing in that as well. How should we negotiate this, right? Because there are a lot of folks right now who I think do have buyer's remorse, but they're not quite sure what to do with it.
Yeah. So this is a hopeful thing.
Yeah.
We're in a moment where people's eyes and ears are available to us in a different way, in a way that they haven't been for 8 years even. And we can't miss it, but it is happening right now. Fundamentally, people just want to belong. They want to feel like they belong. And that is universal across political party. It doesn't matter. And the Democrats have really sucked at helping people feel like they belong, particularly younger white men.
Oh, you treading in some water now, Kate. Here we go.
I'm sorry about whatever happens to your comments after this.
Oh, man. We're going to get something.
But if we stand on I told you so mountain, we will never win. Because it's just like how our brains work. If someone is being mean to you, why would you join their team?
Yeah.
Right.
So we got to be there.
Never worked for me.
No.
Yeah.
We got to be there with open arms. It's cool. We're going to move forward. We're going to move forward with a party that I know, Quinn. It's like digging deep on empathy.
Yeah, I like it, but I will open your arms as long as I can just like smack you one time. right?
You can cross your fingers behind your back while you tell them how much you appreciate them. But
we need somebody to dunk on. Is that kind of what you're going for?
No. I mean, I'm cool. I think everybody should be able to change their mind, right?
Yeah.
I think learning and moving to the better is what I accept people do. You know, they always show racist comments of Joe Biden, but he's changed. Yeah. Cool, awesome, I like that. But in this case, right now, I'm not ready just to hug you. Like, I will hug you after I smack the shit out of you.
Yeah,
if that's possible. But it's
I
not.
think that's called an abusive relationship.
I was gonna say, Quinn, I think there are a lot of therapists listening to this who would have a lot to say about.
You spank mommy because you love her.
I mean, maybe sometimes.
But I mean, I totally. No, I mean,
I love Kate.
I feel very like caught in the middle of this kind of tug of war on this, right? Because on the one hand, I don't really feel like progress can be made in any situation without first a reckoning, without first like, well, we need to see how we got here. We need to, you know, like I'll give you a great example. I know a young man who voted for this in this past election for the first time, voted for Kamala Harris. Parents voted for Donald Trump. This kid is a very precocious young man who I have a lot of respect for.
Word skills.
And he texted his parents because recently Steve Bannon did the Nazi salute, right? And he sent his parents a link to that article and was like, look. And the response was, no politics. But it was like, well, hold on. You don't get to say no politics when you vote, right? Like you did.
Right.
If no politics, fair, then don't do politics at all, right? And I don't know how to navigate that, right? When it's like folks will participate in politics and then kind of fold their arms and be like, well, this doesn't really, you know, I don't love what's going on, but it doesn't really involve me. It doesn't. I don't know. Do you have any
privilege?
Yeah,
It's that for sure.
Could
It's
be.
also
Yeah.
like
it would be hard to say it to. I mean, boy, but you know you can't say that to people.
no.
Yeah.
And it's how we're wired. So my day job, at least for the moment, is a behavioral scientist at the University of Michigan. And so we study how people take in information and what they do in their brains when they get stuff they don't like. And we will shut down. We will compartmentalize. We will rationalize. We will forget. I mean, everybody forgot how nutty the 4 years of Donald Trump
It's
was
amazing.
before.
Goldfish memory.
And when I was knocking doors, do you know what they remembered? They remembered that he signed a check that came in the mail to them.
I remember that too. I remember that. I mean, I when the when
Did
the
you buy
check,
you a big screen TV?
Well, I bought an airsoft
PlayStation.
gun. I bought an airsoft gun. My brother and I got airsoft guns and went out in the woods and shot each other. Thanks, Uncle Sam.
Changed everybody's lives.
My son would like to join you for that. He's like in a gun moment.
But I actually think I even wrote about this in my diary because remember it came in my mailbox. I opened it and I saw that it was like a check. It was almost like a game show kind of thing, and his signature was on it. I remember being like, bullshit, right? Like Nancy Pelosi's signature should be on this check.
Yes.
But
And we made so much fun of him for that.
Yeah.
And also,
But you're so right. So millions of Americans opened their mailbox, got a check signed by Donald Trump, and they thought, wow.
and so in this moment of economic uncertainty, where whatever with eggs, they remember that they got money when Trump was president. And like, that's the way the system is designed. Like our government is designed to keep people in the dark. And so I think part of our job is to find empathy for people who really thought they were making the best choice for their family. They weren't trying to elect a Nazi, even though we told them so.
Right.
But now they realize because they're getting fired, because they can't get health care, because they can't find a job because all the people who are getting fired are now looking for other jobs. And I mean, like, we're going to head into a recession. I know we're not supposed to say that word, but like, you know, like they are going to feel this.
For sure.
And in some ways they deserve to, but also it's the opportunity to build a coalition that can elect Democrats for decades. If we can just let a little of the anger go. Like, you can go on two paths. Like, my anger can sit beside me while I'm talking to somebody about the fact that they belong in this party, because they do. If you are a working person, you belong in the Democratic Party. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what your gender is. Doesn't fucking matter. You belong here. I might want to, I'm not going to say spank because I'm married.
Correct.
I might be furious at you, but I also welcome you here, and we can all like learn and grow together.
Yeah. Excuse me. I know we have a lot of questions to get to, but I want to linger on this a little bit more because one of the things that I think makes this really challenging for me is, you know, the one Trump rally I went to, I noted that there were like 3 different really types of attendees. You had kind of like trollish edgelords who just like chaos and were there to own the libs. And then, you know, they weren't Republican. They didn't really have an ideology, right? Like they just were there for the memes, for the chaos. And then you had people who were authentically concerned about the direction of the country and just did not resonate with what the Democratic Party was messaging, really believe that Donald Trump is the way forward for a prosperous, they wouldn't have used this word, but like I think what they were describing to me was like an equitable country where, like, you know, there's equality
Definitely
of
not
opportunity.
saying that, Daniel.
They didn't say, but like, but what they were describing in terms of their vision was just like, yeah, like he's our pathway forward for a country where, you know, you get out what you put in, and everybody has an opportunity.
Yeah, every American can succeed.
Right, you know, and people have been left behind will be pulled up. And then you had a third category, which was just like people who ideologically were committed to seeing the United States become a white ethno-state within their lifetime.
Yep.
And sometimes you can clearly see, well, you're an edgelord, you're the white supremacist, and you're the hardworking, you know, average Joe who is just looking for the answer to the problem in the most, you know, authentic way possible. But sometimes those lines are blurred.
Sure.
And I think that's kind of another thing that I wrestle with is like sometimes it's tough to know, am I communicating with an individual who is, you know, we're both trying to solve the same problem, or is this person ultimately looking for a way to, like, you know, open a time capsule to apartheid South Africa?
Yeah.
It's hard. I don't know. It's just tough to know sometimes.
I mean, for sure. And I would say, what's the risk in trying and discovering that you found your David Duke?
Yeah.
I mean, you just walk away, hopefully, because you're not going to win that. Like, we need 1.5%. We really don't need that many people to like reckon with what is happening and be interested, at least like Democrat curious.
Well, I mean, that was kind of cool. I don't know what
that was my orientation for the longest of time.
you put out just recently on your social media like a little documentary or something following you around and stuff. And that was one of the things that I thought was pretty cool when you were working the polls and going up and down the line to people. You're like, hey, my issue is gerrymandering. This isn't a blue or red or left or right issue. They are just drawing things that are just abstract, literally. And you should care about this. And I think that's kind of where the Democrat message should just go, like issues that are universal and not a left or right, just a person, a working class person issue.
Yeah. And gerrymandering is awesome. I mean,
Well,
the word
sucks.
sucks balls and the actual thing, but as an issue, it's amazing because it's anti-establishment, which is really resonant right now. Everybody understands what fair looks like, and fairness is like a core American value.
It's a human value, right? Like
Yep.
we hate cheaters.
Yeah. Yes.
It's like biologically, like we hate moochers, we hate free riders.
So I'm going to push back on your gerrymandering.
All right,
I know
lay it
that's
on me.
a big issue for you, and I think it's a big issue,
Yep.
right? I think gerrymandering is a giant issue. But I feel like the Democrats, especially North Carolina just recently with this gerrymandering, we use it as an excuse of why we lose all the time. I think it is a reason why we lose, but I feel like it can cause apathy for a lot of people not to go vote because they're like, I'm just
What's the point?
gerrymandered out,
Yeah.
when it's like, actually, we can beat it because, I mean, Democrats gerrymandered at one point and got beat by the Republicans, so we still need to do it, but when...
That was a very different kind of, I will just say, like, Democrats did not gerrymander like Republicans gerrymander.
We were just not as good at
We
it,
just
and
weren't
we
as
didn't
good at it,
have the
right?
same data.
Yeah.
But I agree with
But
you.
no, your point stands, yeah.
I agree with you. I want us to see the fact that North Carolina is gerrymandering as an opportunity to fuck shit up. Register as a Republican, run as a Democrat in the primary, right? Like playing by the rules and trying to do things within the bounds is not working. So
True.
try shit. If you're
Yeah.
going to lose the district anyway, try more shit.
Yeah.
And find out, like maybe there's something
Make some
magic
friends
that
along the
happens.
way.
Make
Man,
some
that's,
friends.
that's a surefire way to get Bernice and the party upset at you if you go Republican and then come back to the party. Why were you a Republican right now?
Yeah.
I can just see it.
It'd be super satisfying too.
But I think you're right, though. I mean, I think obviously I wasn't your campaign manager, but I would imagine you and your campaign team learned a lot of really insightful lessons by running a balls to the wall crazy campaign that you knew you were going to lose, and just seeing if we throw everything against the wall, what's going to stick.
Yeah.
Right?
So the most important thing was as soon as I told people I couldn't win, they instantly believed what I said next.
Yeah.
Because they didn't think I was trying
You
to
were trying to
snow
pull things-
them
yeah,
to
right.
get their vote or whatever. And so I could campaign with credibility in a way that not many politicians could. And we flipped like 550 votes,
Oh, that's cool.
which is, I mean,
For a
small
district
number.
like that, not nothing.
And also in a state like ours where, Allison Riggs wins by 734.
It's real.
Yeah.
And I overlapped with Beth Helfrich, who her campaign manager is sitting right over there on that sofa. And
That's right.
she and Beth kicked some serious ass. But like our districts overlapped. And I believe that mattered. And so looking for these places where you can't win, but you can turn out Democrats
Yeah.
and flip a few Republicans is valuable.
Well, that's a whole strategy in and of itself that watching your campaign, I realize the value of it, right? With the whole lose by less idea, which is like, Kate Barr maybe doesn't win that race. But
Maybe.
but Kate Barr's not going to win that race. But if the average Democrat loses that race by 10,000 votes and you lose by 8,000 votes, those
shifting.
2,000 votes might have gone to other candidates and put them over the line, put them
Yes.
over the top to victory. And that cannot be discounted. That's huge. That's
and
a
it's
BFD,
a
as Joe
gateway
Biden would
drug
say.
to voting for Democrats. Like you're probably if you voted straight ticket Republican your whole life, you're
Yeah.
probably not going to start voting for Democrats at the top of the ticket.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Like you're going to start at the bottom. We're going to just be like, "Oh, this one person, this
Right.
local person that I know super well and knocked on my door, I'll pick that one." And all of a sudden, you've picked a Democrat, and now that is this brain stuff. You are more likely to pick a Democrat in the future.
Because you've humanized that. The party's no longer this abstract behemoth machine. It's like, well, I think Seneca Rogers is a great example. We have a lot of Republicans in this county. He's a school board candidate. We have Mr. Rogers, right? Like everybody loves him.
Took him 3 times running to get elected.
It did take him, but dude never quit. And people saw that, right? And I think there were a lot of people. I've met some of them at the polls who are like, I don't want your slate card, but I will vote for Seneca Rogers.
Yep.
I think it's exactly what you're talking about, right?
And it's also like a change of identity for that voter. Like no longer is that voter a straight ticket Republican voter. Like the way that
That's
they
true.
think
The way
about
they-
themselves is different.
That's very, very true. Are we ready for Jello shots? Are
I
we
think
feeling
so.
it?
I think we are.
Okay, tell us about our Jello shots.
I have 2 flavors for you. So one is pineapple with coconut rum. So that's like a little pina
sounds pretty
colada
good.
for you.
Okay.
The other one is strawberries and cream. So it's strawberry Jello with whipped cream vodka. Really, they're both delicious. And I have to hat tip to my friend Andrea, who makes the most beautiful Jello shots in the
Okay.
world. These are not those. She's going to watch this.
Oh, I
and
thought
be
we were
like,
getting ready to get a
no.
presentation of like
No,
the most
she does
decadent.
like that layered shit and like things on
wow.
top. That's not who I am. But she did teach me how to make these, so they should be tasty.
Well, let's just do it.
Which one
Yeah.
you want? Yellow or red?
Both.
Yeah.
I was gonna say both actually. I think
Okay. Let me see.
You can slide them.
sliding?
Oh man!
Wow.
You sure you weren't a bartender?
Not officially.
How long was the drive? The drive wasn't bad here, was it?
It normally would be like an hour and a half. They're
Yeah.
building a bridge.
Yep.
I know, like that metaphor, but it did require us to go.
Metaphorically.
Yes.
That's what we do here on
Liter-
the podcast. We build
Yes,
bridges.
literally and metaphorically, and we had to go very slow because of it, which also feels appropriate.
So when you do your Jello shots, do you finger it first?
No.
No, you just.
W-
Oh man!
how am I teaching you how to? No.
So that's how I've always done it. So I clear it.
I use my.
You use
Yeah,
your
tongue.
your tongue.
Yeah.
Yes.
tongue
yeah.
is the
I didn't
way-
want to
yeah.
be weird about that on
Right.
Well,
mic.
you're about to be on camera. That'd be
There you go.
weird.
Yep.
But I failed.
You did. But it, you finger it first. It goes in better.
Thanks, Quinn.
So
Thank goodness for that E.
Yep.
Since that was really crass, I would love your thoughts on this. so Daniel and I did this podcast last year. That's when we started it. And then went all the way.
Can I do my second Jello shot while you're talking?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, I started.
Yeah, no, you're good. I did the strawberry one first. It was delicious, but now I want a tropical, finale.
So we started this podcast, and then we went through the whole election. After the election, Democrats, people on the left are ready to Monday morning quarterback why Democrats lost. One of the biggest things that, especially us being social media and podcasts, that we heard was we need more Joe Rogans. We need more crass white dudes doing stuff. What are your thoughts on just that whole attitude of like Democrats now need to start trying to cater to this bro-iness?
I mean, so
We say that as we do Jello shots.
I mean, okay, but I'm not a bro. No, I'm a mom. I'm a PTO president, y'all. Jello shots are they're universal. I kind of think where we are right now in the Democratic Party is we need to place a bunch of small bets on a lot of different things and kind of see what works. So I'm not opposed to trying that, but I don't want to try
all in.
only that.
Yeah,
Right,
I'm
right.
with you.
I look at like the Valor Network on Midas Touch, which is primarily focused on veterans and like military stuff. And most of them are Democrats and represent liberal values just in the way that they talk. I'm way more interested in people living their authentic lives and just happening to be liberal while they're doing it than I am in like a direct, like let's have a bro down about like your FAFSA form or
Universal
whatever.
healthcare is rad.
Yeah. I mean, it is.
No, but I'm with you. With you. But like, I'm against anything that it's contrived.
Yeah.
That feels forced and inauthentic. And my whole issue with I always thought the Joe Rogan conversation was bullshit. Like I hated it from the get-go. One, for a couple of reasons. One, because I think Kamala Harris ran a great campaign. I think she was a great candidate.
For what she had the poison chalice, but for the time she had, she ran a great campaign.
I am in awe with what she was able to pull off, and I was somebody who had a lot of doubts when she announced her candidacy. I mean, I was very much of the impress me, and damned if she didn't. So my first thing is that I think it's a lot of people who don't understand the what she pulled off in the first place, and how effective her campaign was in many ways. I don't think we'd seen energy like that since 2008, Obama.
Kamala HQ was amazing.
It's amazing.
Yes.
So that's my first thing. The second thing is I think this whole idea of like the liberals need a Joe Rogan. The conservatives don't really even have a Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is not a commentator. He's a dude who has long form conversations on the internet. And do I think what I think we need? Now I'm not trying to answer Kate's question, but like
do it.
But I think like we just need liberals to go on Joe Rogan, or we just need to have people. We just need to have more interesting long form conversations like that, because I think that's what people really want, is just to hear ideas tossed around. And you can't win arguments when you don't show up to them.
Yeah, but you have the Paul brothers going to the Trump being inaugurated wearing their "Make America Great" hats again. You got Theo Vaughn doing it. Shane Gillis? He's doing it, right? All these,
but that's not out of ideological.
Kill Tony.
But that's not out of an ideological commitment to the MAGA, principles. That's because they made a calculated decision that it's good for their brand and their marketing. And this guy came on my podcast. I'm going to hitch my horse to his wagon.
Sure. But does the liberals have it?
Well, yeah. I mean, if Kamala Harris had won, you'd have Alex Cooper. You'd have Call Her Daddy showing up at the inauguration. I'm sure. I think
there's an important difference though, which is that conservatives and especially Christian nationalists have been pouring money into right-leaning media for a long time.
It's been a choice. They've definitely been putting their chips on that number.
And we have not.
Yeah.
And you can tell. Like, my passion project is taking down the trad wives. Like, that's just what I think about at midnight.
I get so much trad wife content.
Yeah.
I don't know. My algorithm is so twisted. I get so much trad wife content.
Well,
what are you looking up on X video?
I don't want to talk about it.
He's all into Ballard.
Don't want to talk about it.
Know it.
I don't want to talk about it.
He's like, look at her milk that cow.
It's actually churning butter is the one. That's man.
Fair enough.
That's a skill that's gone.
It's like raw milk forever.
We need to bring back the butter churning.
Yeah. But They are funded by Christian nationalists because they espouse a lifestyle that Christian nationalism supports.
Yeah.
Also, the return on investment, if you're like a
Huge.
conservative billionaire, millionaire, you will probably make money if you elect Republicans because your taxes will go down. And so there's like a financial incentive that we don't have because if you pick me, I'm raising your taxes. So what we offer our Democratic folks.
Do we edit that out? Or we just let
No,
that
we're
roll?
going to say it, and we're also going to talk about patriotic millionaires in a minute.
Okay.
What we offer Democrats is like if you're a billionaire, I cannot make you rich. I will not. I will make you proud, and I might get you into heaven.
And I'll fundraise.
I'll
money
fundraise. I'll take every check you send to me. But I'm not going to make you any more money than you already got, and I'm going to spend a shit ton of what you send me.
And that's where you lost me.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
But there's this group. They've been around, I think, since 2010. They started under Obama when it became clear he wasn't going to roll back the Bush-era tax cuts. They're called the Patriotic Millionaires. 56 of them signed a letter, super short, that was basically like, tax us more. Millionaires, like extreme high net worth individuals, people from like, first 5 employees at Google kind of stuff. And they still exist, and they still advocate for 2 issues and 2 issues only: raising minimum wage and taxing 90% on people who have more than $100 million.
Sold.
And then lowering taxes for people, like a more progressive tax, basically. They're fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And they're a bunch of millionaires. So I believe it is possible. It's just our ROI is different, and it takes people like having space in their heart to write a giant check to the Hometown Holler to continue making the content.
Which, billionaires, if you're listening,
Yeah.
our address is, no, I'm just kidding.
I'll be sending this around.
I will churn butter.
Oh, so much butter.
Milk that cow.
Yes.
Do we want to ask, do we want to go here, or do we want to get to the surprise?
I don't know. No, I mean,
because I actually really want to know the answer to this question.
yeah, ask her.
So, let's talk about fundraising, because we're kind of already adjacent to it, right? When you run a political campaign, you have to fundraise. And now with the work that you do with the Can't Win Victory Fund, which folks should go check out online, Google the Kate Barr Can't Win, Can't Win Victory Fund. Any of those search terms will be winners. You got to fundraise a lot.
Yeah.
And sometimes fundraising, you have to talk to people of extraordinary means, AKA billionaires, right? What's it like? It's got to be, is it awkward? Like, I can't imagine, I don't know. I've never had to do it. So I'm just, what's it like?
So we're trying to fundraise about $6 million right now. So I mean,
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, but we're,
Yeah.
it's also not a lot of money in politics.
Sure.
It's this weird,
That thought.
right?
We need to quit thinking like poor people.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. And we also, we got to come back to that too, because Democrats pay people to stay poor if they're working in politics. We need to pay people to do the job. Anyhow. Yeah. So
Why didn't you run for DNC chair? You're making a hell of a pitch.
Are you kidding me?
Just-
That sounds like misery.
Yeah, I know.
Like the 7th
does.
circle of hell.
Totally.
And then Clayton raised some money.
I mean, Anderson's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, no. I meant
oh, you
DNC,
meant DNC.
not
Oh,
North
DNC.
Carolina.
Okay.
No. Was not by any means suggesting
No,
that
no.
you... I'm talking
I
nationally.
heard you.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
nationally,
Just want to make sure for
absolutely
North
not.
Carolina, for any NCDP listeners, I'm not suggesting.
While the SEC meeting is going
Anderson
on.
Clayton is my best friend.
Yeah.
And I would like for her to be. So the thing is that like people donate their money on personal whim, no matter how much money they're donating. And it's weird to try to decode what somebody's like interest is from a bunch of Google searches. You're always just trying to align what you're doing with what they're already interested in. Some of them want you to talk about it like a business model, right? Like here's, you're going to invest this much money and we're going to track these KPIs, and which I learned was key performance indicators.
I was going to ask what KPI is.
Yeah, right.
Oh, so when you get money, they put stipulations on your money of what you have to do for them?
Sounds like a lot of buzzwords.
They can, but the main thing they want is like to know how you're going to tell them that it's working, to know how that you're going to spend their money well and report back to them. So sometimes it's just like, I want a quarterly report or whatever, but everybody has like their passion about how Democrats should be running. And if you're trying to get money from them, you're trying to make sure they see how that passion aligns with what you're already planning to do.
Reminds me of that Dr. Seuss book, If I Ran the Zoo.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
It is a zoo.
ran the
That's
zoo,
actually a
this
really
is-
good
yeah,
metaphor. Yep.
That's how I would do it.
Yep. What's interesting right now, though, is that billionaires aren't writing checks. They're all, so I don't
Packs?
know.
They're just packs?
They're just like sitting on their hands.
Yeah, keeping Dems at
Kind
a
of waiting
distance
to
right
know
now.
what's going to happen. Yeah.
They spent a bunch of money on a media group called Future Forward, like hundreds of millions of dollars. And Future Forward made some real dumb shit decisions. I'm sorry.
So now we're
I
going
might
pass
actually get kicked
backwards.
out of the party for saying that. And so now the big donors who sent them money, like, are not interested in funding stuff because they're like, we gave you all this money and look what you did.
Yeah.
And they're doing these postmortems to try and figure out what's going on. It kills me though, because again, we're missing this moment. 6 months from now, people will
So-
have like figured out how to rationalize
I think
this.
that's, I mean, as long as we're slaughtering sacred cows.
Yeah.
If I was a billionaire, I get where they're coming from because there are numerous organizations that I can think of that, can't really say that they're getting their money's worth or that they're
100%.
moving the needle for what they're putting in. So, if I was a mega donor, I would be reticent probably at this point in time. I would like to think that I'd be keeping the door open for anybody with a good idea to pitch it to me, and I would be open to hearing that and responding accordingly. But I can't blame folks for keeping their pocketbooks, closed right now when we've seen a lot of money spent for
That's why we tax them.
marginal returns, which is why we tax them. That's right, Quinn. There we go.
I could never be a billionaire because I would never get to it because I donate so
You have
much
too much
fucking
fun.
money. Well, I mean, I donate so much money now, and I'm
Yeah.
poor as shit, and I donate so much money, and I hate it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that
I
I
just
hear
hate
that.
it.
I hear that. I'm going to a fundraiser tonight, and I know I'm going to write a check. I shouldn't.
I know.
Yeah.
Why do I do it?
I think
For the children.
I think it really is a different mentality. I think that once you hit that B, I think you're a behavioral, expert psychologist, whatever. I don't know what the proper nomenclature is,
You
but
can pick any word. it's
yeah,
fine.
but I think something fundamentally happens, like a switch flips in your brain, and and the reason I say that is because I see what billionaires do, and I think, well, if I was a billionaire, but then I realize something has happened with these folks. Like at a certain point, they were probably like me, where they said, well, if I had that money, I would do X, Y, Z, and then they had the money, and something changed.
So Erica Payne, the head of the Patriotic Millionaires, told me something that has just like stayed with me, which is that at some point money stops being money and it just becomes power. And when you reach that moment, that is when the switch flips, because you're not just giving money, you're giving power, and that is a completely different thing.
Sounds awesome.
Sounds like
It's like some House of Cards shit.
But
BDSM shit.
Well, this is theme through this podcast,
Yeah,
guys.
it's like-
I feel like I need to ask you some
It's
questions.
on Quinn's
After-
side.
You don't
Quinn,
want
it's
to.
just
You
Quinn.
do
Look,
not want to ask
I just
me
made the churning. I just made the churning butter joke. This is all Quinn Ray. Councilman
Sure.
Quinn Ray.
Well, I mean, yes, councilman, and actually, I'm a podcaster now. It's funny. Our local
local
news.
newspaper.
We went and spoke to our county commissioners.
Podcaster,
and then they
Quinn
called
Ray.
us a podcaster before a councilman, and I was
Oh.
like, this kind of feels weird.
Yeah, it was-
But like, did you like it a little?
No.
Yeah, he didn't like it.
No.
Not at first. At first, I thought it was like a shot at me.
It felt
to-
kind of like that.
like devaluing me
Yeah.
a little bit. But then I realized like it's actually a thing.
Honestly, you probably get more cred for being a podcaster than for a councilman. Just like
Podcaster and local heartthrob, Quinn Ray.
Well, now it's making
says Daniel, who appeared in his little white tank top with the chest hair out. We all saw that.
we did. Man,
I didn't
Funny-
shave.
funny-
Didn't shave for 3 months to
funny
get that
you
shot.
mentioned that he did that one time before. So when stuff gets put up on our social media, like Daniel and I, obviously we talk about it and figure it out. And one time he did it, and I was like, man, I don't like that look. I don't think me personally. If you want to do it, you can do it. And so we talked about it. Then he did that one, and I was like, you know what? Let's just let it roll. But
How'd it go?
Well, we let it roll, and I mean, it got a lot of likes and
Chest
views,
hairs
and people like some chest hairs.
Yeah.
I heard from a non-zero number of people, not the people sitting over there, who were like, "Can I come with you when you go to the Hometown
Oh
Holler?"
yeah, for sure. See, yeah,
Making you uncomfortable.
Well, it's the chiseled chin. It's not the hair.
I
It's the
see.
chiseled chin.
I think it's time for some rapid fire. Okay. So,
Oh no!
my illustrious girlfriend has Girl Talk Jenga. Yes. It's one of our
I'm
favorite
gonna give you a
games.
beer too, because we're gonna chug a beer.
Oh god!
Man,
This is why I brought a
I'm
driver.
So I was gonna say, man, 2 Jello shots, a chocolate martini.
Jello
and
shots are nothing. We're chugging a beer.
Yeah.
I'm a sickly child, Quinn.
It's okay. You have chest hair and a chiseled chin. You're chugging a beer.
All right, for the memes.
Because for Joe Rogan.
Ready?
All right. Okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
Y'all are what? This was not my college training. I can do a shot, but that no.
It's better than shotgun.
Can we burp on the ear?
I mean, we might cut that one.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Yeah, that was terrible. I'm just gonna sip the other half of mine. What are we doing with Girl
I got
Talk
like
Jenga?
80% in. So we're not. I knew this was gonna happen.
This is so good. This is also stupid. And by the way, while we're recording this, guys, it's like 11
It's
o'clock
11 a.m.
on
a
a Saturday.
Yeah, this is.
What the fuck else were you doing on your Saturday?
Well, yeah, I mean, I gotta be honest. Like, I had something I had to do this weekend that was due Monday, and then Quinn and I decided it was for the podcast. We decided, like, no, there's going to be another opportunity to do this. Let's just kick that can. And as soon as we made that decision, I was like, Jello shots are happening.
Yeah. My in-laws are in town, so this is very helpful to me.
I've got a father-daughter dance tonight.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Do
it's
we
gonna
still
be
do
awesome.
them as like
Where is that?
father-daughter?
Is that
or
at the
is it
country
like...
club?
No, it's at the YMCA, and it's the Valentine's father-daughter dance.
Oh, that's
and,
sweet.
My
You're a
daughter's
good dad, Quinn.
daughter's 6, and we're gonna go.
That's
I
really
feel
sweet.
like I should send you with the bag of Jello shots.
I would do it, and I would pass them out
So
to all the
very
other
quick,
dads.
30-second.
Okay,
And
all right.
well, I just want to say this about the father-daughter. I did a mother-son dance.
Yeah.
At the end of Cotillion. And do you know what song the Alamance County Country Club plays at the end of Cotillion for the mother-son dance? Honky Tonk Badonkadonk.
Oh, I was gonna go Push It by Salt and
Do you
Pepper.
have any idea how awkward it is to be dancing with your mom when Trace Atkins is like left, right, left? He's talking about how she put them britches on. Man, that was a
donk.
God. All right. So we have Girl Talk Jenga, which
Okay.
means we're not going to actually play Jenga because it'd be loud, and I don't honestly think I have that
Yeah.
kind of executive functioning skills right now. So I'm just going to draw a Jenga block.
No, have her draw it.
Oh, have Kate draw it.
Yeah.
shit.
And
Okay.
answer,
Well,
and
the
answer
reason I was
question.
going to draw it is like if we get one, there's like not that there are any lame ones, but there might be some lame ones.
Well, let it be lame.
Let's just let it be lame. All right.
Yep.
All right. Cool. So Kate, I'm just going
Okay.
to push
Are
you
you
the Easter
answering
basket.
these or am I?
Well,
No, you're-
we'll take turns.
We'll just
Okay.
We'll just.
All right. What do you like most about yourself?
Okay, at the end though, and I forgot to mention this, one of the rules of Girl Talk Jenga is you answer the question and you have to say, Girl Talk.
Okay.
Okay. What do you like most about yourself? I'm unfiltered. Girl talk.
Yeah.
Is that right? Is
Yes.
that what I'm
I
supposed
love
to
that.
do?
That was exactly.
Okay.
It's like you've done this before.
What is your favorite holiday? I am
You're a
a
Christmas dude.
Yeah,
Gotta be
I'm a
Christmas.
Christmas guy. I really like all the
What the fuck is with these Jenga blocks? I have like deep thoughts, and you're like
introspection.
picking a holiday?
Yeah, I picked a holiday.
It's Girl Talk.
Girl Talk.
There are no rules.
Okay.
It's funny because I imagine this is what this was marketed to like 8th graders for like slumber parties.
Yeah.
Do you know what I was talking about at slumber parties in 8th grade? What happens if the zombies come? What is our zombie apocalypse survival plan? Right? Our plan was actually to go up to Roxborough because they have a Walmart and there's not a lot of people up there, and the people that are there have guns so they can protect us.
We were sticking pads to people's foreheads when they fell asleep first.
You guys
That
are cool.
was
Weird.
All right,
middle
what is
school.
what is the last thing you spent money on? Actually, yesterday I went to a taco truck and I had 3 bangin' pastor tacos, and I ordered in Spanish, and you know what? It was great.
Yeah.
And I did like a whole
It was
conversational
a
thing.
very subtle flex.
I've tried it before.
Maybe not that
I've
subtle.
tried it before and it's failed. And it's when you try to order in Spanish and it fails, you just feel like the pastiest little white boy ever, and it's so embarrassing.
Were
But
you just like, por favor, tacos al pastor?
gracias, grassy ass.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
Kate.
Okay.
Daniel didn't say Girl Talk. He lost.
Oh.
Girl, she hasn't gone yet. Girl talk.
No.
Who is your closest friend?
man.
refuse to choose.
You knew that one at the slumber party? That stirred the pot.
Oh, this is like the slam book.
That ruined some friendships.
But this is an awesome opportunity for me to talk about how fucking badass my community is. So one of the reasons that I could run for office in the way that I did and do what I do now is people that I love and care about know me and know my heart. And so like I actually can truly not give a fuck what the world thinks. And so
that's a beautiful thing.
And you got two of them
it's
here.
amazing. Two of them. I've got Tara, who's sitting on the couch. She's logged into that SEC meeting right now, doing the Lord's work. Emma, brilliant campaign manager.
3 for 3. If you need a campaign manager, she's the one.
Yeah, she's actually pretty awesome at that. Although I think she should go to law school and be an immigration attorney.
But that's so true, though. Like
Yeah.
I think like so many great ideas don't get enacted because people are inhibited and because they don't feel like they have a social circle that will uplift them and celebrate them and go to bat for them unconditionally. So that's
I
a
could
really
text
cool.
a dozen people right now and tell them I needed something, and it would be done before I got home.
That's remarkable.
It's just fucking awesome.
Yeah.
We all deserve that.
Girl
All right,
talk.
one more round. If you were an animal, what animal would you be?
That's a good one. I
It
like
is a
that
good
one.
one. I've always wanted to fly.
What the fuck?
I know.
I know you're getting like the ones like
I'm sorry.
You're not sorry.
Not at all. I'm unapologetically sorry for
falcon.
you. Yeah, I would be like a hawk probably.
That's
I've
a
always
lot of
wanted to
raw
fly.
meat.
Yeah.
It is a lot of raw
Love some
meat.
raw meat.
I mean, baby would like it raw.
That was his nickname in high school was Raw Meat Ray.
Listen, y'all are gonna open something you don't want to do.
All right. Yeah. Draw this one. What is one goal you would like to achieve this year?
Oh, that's a good one.
Man, I mean, this one has to be. It's definitely a podcast goal. This year. Oh man, I would like. Here's the goal. For every email I send out inviting a guest on the podcast, I would like an email of a guest wanting to be on the podcast.
Ooh.
That would be really, and it doesn't, and maybe I say no to some of those emails. Who's
Sure.
to say? But we're
getting some.
Oh, for sure we are. And like again, like knock on wood, like we haven't made the big announcement yet, but we have some really exciting stuff.
Okay, I'm
coming
going
up.
to turn the
bangers.
table on you.
Yeah.
Who's your dream podcast guest?
Living, dead, like is it just like all time? Like,
I actually
what are
want
some
all of those.
constraints?
All of them.
Living, dead, all time. That's 3.
I think living. I mean, I do think Barack Obama is a really interesting. I just have a lot of questions that I would like. There's a lot I'd like to talk to him about.
Sure.
So Barack Obama, probably living, or Emmylou Harris. Those are two very different answers, but big Emmylou fan. But dead, it's either Abraham Lincoln or Jesus. I think it has to be Jesus.
Yeah.
I just think like if you don't pick Jesus,
Yeah.
how many questions would that answer? Right? Good to have Jesus on the Hometown Holler.
You would have.
Jesus, would you have voted for Trump? Fascinating.
Yeah.
The answer is obviously
that's
no,
the
but
headline
it would
for the
be
next
great.
year, for sure. Yeah.
You also both failed because the correct answer is Dolly Parton.
Oh, she'd
Yeah.
be great too.
Yeah.
We can never hear
Emma
her.
double thumbs up over there from the gallery. I see it.
This is my like shameless. If you know Dolly Parton, please connect us.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
Everybody, like, let's go. Emmylou. I mean,
Yeah.
yes.
Honestly, I'm thinking about it now. Dolly would be very into what you're doing.
We
Empowering
okay,
working people.
We
and-
want to.
yeah.
So we're trying to run candidates in red places, and we're calling them candidates because we're cute.
Yeah, it's a gimmick.
It is everything, but like
Everything,
it works.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
We want to hold candidate training at Dollywood.
Oh.
Fucking fun would that
That
be?
is amazing.
You can take your family because
I want to run for office now as a candidate.
this is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
I'm
you're
going
not
to move to
expensive at
Randolph
Dollywood.
County. I'm going to run for state house just so I can go to Dollywood.
Just
with
so I
Kate
can
Barr.
go to
Hell yes.
Dollywood.
On my billionaires check. Yeah.
Well, come to the state fair with us when we do it this
I
year.
would
That's
really
the-
like to do
that'd
that
be really
too.
fun. Bring all your
Yeah.
candidates.
Yeah.
But we're definitely coming up
Yeah,
on time.
for sure.
This
Oh,
was
shitballs.
a super a fun episode. So, Kate, what? Leave the listeners with something.
And tell
Okay.
us where they can find you, because that's important.
Okay. Where you can find me is on all the social medias because, as Blair Reeves from Carolina Forward once told me, I'm extremely online. at Kate Barr Can't Win or at Can't Win Victory Fund, and just like pick your favorite platform except X because we don't believe in them. And then leave you with something.
So some hope in politics.
I'm ready to.
What keeps you motivated?
So I am both lucky enough and have worked hard enough to earn a seat in a lot of conversations happening at the national level about how we can do things differently. And they are good people with good ideas who are ready to change things. And we don't see it yet, but it's coming. And I'm really, really excited about where we're going to end up, I think, after this. Like, there's a lot to be built anew, rebuilt, whatever you want to say. And they're really smart people thinking about it.
Girl talk.
Girl talk.
So, Kate, we have a gift for you. We have we got a T-shirt. Yes. Got to send you home with a Hometown Holler T-shirt from our friends at TS Designs, Alamance County's premier apparel company. And folks, if you're listening and you love the Holler and support us and want to see us live, thrive, and survive, you can become a patron on Patreon.
I'm a patron on Patreon.
And we are so grateful for it.
Better believe it.
Our patrons helped us get our amazing new camera setup, our new light setup. We're looking a bit more cinema-esque.
Yeah, this is our first one.
If you can see my pores, I'm sorry.
I have been told by credible sources that my pores are so big I could serve dip out of them. So I can guarantee that you have nothing to worry about. I'm sure if anybody's pores are on display today, it is. Anyway, look, man, you brought the Jello shots.
Yeah, you look like you were a glutton here for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, I should have kept these off the side.
You just have to move them to the floor.
It is a bad look. It's so good. Well, guys, this was fun. Kate, thanks for making the trip down. This was awesome.
Thanks for having me, y'all.
Cheers.